Greetings players, I've been creating PC-98 Touhou style originals for the past 2 years. Sometimes I create art that goes along in the thumbnails to catch the eye of the listener. Many people are questioning, how do I do this? After searching pics of in YouTube for tutorials, I found not many results, so I'm likely the first. Additionally, there is an entire website containing tutorials on how to draw in specific game styles, but no mention of PC-98. A word of note here, this is not a formal tutorial on how to draw stuff, only this specific style. I recommend you learn to draw first if you're a rookie. A quick background before I get into the big picture. This was the original art direction used by Zune in the PC-98 Touhou games, and you may have seen it in the original versions of the games and not the NES remakes. I will be focusing on the art direction used in Lotus Land Story and Mystic Square. The shading usually uses 2 or 3 colors, but you can dither it for more elaborate effects. The PC-98 art direction is done via pixel art. You can use whatever program you want, such as Microsoft Paint or Photoshop. I'll be using Paint.net for the purposes of this tutorial since I have more control over what I want to create. The first step of any artwork is creating the proportions. This is the most challenging part, and I have this free template that you can use, and it is up on my website if you want to copy and use it as the basis. There are a few things you need to know about Zune's art direction. The face tends to be squashed together or put close. For example, you need to keep the nose at the bottom of the eyes with the mouth close to the nose. The eyebrows are also another complicated part, but again, keep them close to the eyes. Zune generally designs characters with round chins, and you can use pointed chins if you're designing older characters. The latter choice has yielded mixed results, with some frowning upon it. The shading is generally saturated. Touhou Project is a super bright and colorful franchise, and the possibilities for characters are endless. Also, I recommend you stay under 16 colors, as that was the capability of the PC-98. The most common color he uses is black, and that's for things like outlines, but some objects are pitch black. To achieve shading for it, you will need to use red, purple, or white. The design for their clothing is up to you. You can take cues from the official games. Also, don't forget about designing patterns or textures. Zune is employed in a few artworks such as for Yuka Kazami. If you're using Paint.net, you'll be in luck because there are a plethora of bundled patterns that you can use. If you're using Photoshop, you'll need to define those textures. While it is fun to design hair, it is also the most challenging part. A way around this is I draw lines of where I need to put strands and outline it from there. The shading is even harder. You'll need 3 colors to shade things properly. There aren't a lot of questions on how to do things right, but if you jump onto the Touhou Project subreddit and ask the community, there are some users who can give you answers on how to do things the right way. For the purpose of this tutorial, I will be drawing Megumi Wasai, a non-player character in the Chuhou Joutai trilogy. It will cover the basic fundamentals such as body proportions, clothing, hair, and accessories. You can follow along and trace the art prepared, though please do not upload it as your own because the original art featured in this video is copyrighted property of Drillimation Systems. The first thing I usually focus on is the body and clothing. I always do half body shots. I have done some full body shots before, and things have yielded mixed results. The design for Megumi that I'm using is that of the first game. She wears a pink sleeveless top, which is what I will draw first. To minimize production time, I'm drawing half of the image and symmetrizing it to the other side. Even drawing the hands can be tricky. There are dozens of tutorials on Pixiv and DeviantArt on how to draw hands, but the way I do it is drawing lines for the fingers and outlining them. Ever since I began working on Touhou Meijinga's Song of Divine Tempest, I have been using a lot more detail on the clothing as well as the shading. For the shading part, you will need to use a darker color. There are numerous ways for shading stuff, but you can use whatever works for you. The second part is the head of the person. I do want to mention that human hair is one of the most difficult things to draw. To ease the difficulty, as I've always mentioned, I draw a bunch of lines and then outline the hair. It works and gets most of the job done, though it's not perfect. If you've ever seen any anime or played any game that uses an anime style art direction, hair will almost always have a white highlight. Again, follow the same shading procedure for the hair, and the dithering is optional. Now that the hair is done, next comes the face. Remember to keep the chin round. While you can do the chin in just a single line, remember to keep their neck in mind. As in a lot of PC-98 games, there is a little bit of black shading below the chin. Now I'm on to the eyes. There are many ways to design eyes, but you can follow what I do. I've used many eye styles, but you can use whatever is best for you. For the iris, put a white circle at the top part. The outline of the iris should be in black. Remember to use the same 2 colors for the shading of the eyes. For most anime noses, whether you're doing frontal or a 3/4 angle, the size of the nose should be a few pixels. Remember to shade its surrounding areas. Speaking of shading the face, remember to make the upper part of their face a darker color as well as the blushes. The bottom part of the face should be 1 to 2 pixels thick. The last part of the tutorial is for accessories. I will only be focusing on glasses because Megumi is a Mega Neko or glasses wearing girl. There is only one character in the PC-98 games who wears glasses, that being Rikako Asakura. Drawing glasses is simple by starting with a circle, filling it in with a darker color, and highlighting it in a lighter color. Also, don't forget to put the bridge in to connect the lenses. I haven't mentioned other accessories in this video, but this is where you will really have to get creative. Try looking deep into the official artworks and fan creations, and do your best to transfer them into your character art. If you follow this tutorial, you will have completed your first PC-98 Touhou style art. If you're a musician, you could get audio savvy and write a theme for that piece of art, which is what I do. If you follow my Twitter or Instagram page, you will see that I've done PC-98 Touhou style art as part of Draw This in Your Style contest. You will be seeing a barrage of PC-98 Touhou style originals this holiday season, which is what I will be doing as early Christmas gifts for those artists. I might not know a single thing about you, but if you have a character that you want me to draw PC-98 style, you can fire me a commission for a fee. I hope you learned something valuable from it. If you don't understand something, I appreciate your feedback in the comments. Remember to enjoy yourself, and you don't have to follow a step-by-step guide on doing what you want. I wish you luck on your art quests, and I hope to see you in the next video.